So with One Mission Society, with our organisation, we have divided the world into 5 regions. As a leader of our world intercessors at the moment, of that calling, I would like a prayer representative in each of those regions. I would then like a prayer representative for each of the countries we're currently in, represented by those regions, which is over 70 at the moment. We have how many countries in the world? 200? So there are countries that we're not currently in, but we're praying for God to raise up, to stir up that pillar of fire, that dust, so that we can know which countries to go into. And he raises up a person within that country with a burden and a passion for that country, and people from outside of that country. And as God brings teams that they gravitate towards each other, we go into that country. We do our prayer walks with the nationals to pray and confess, like at the Franklin Graham rally recently downtown. He led us as we confessed our own sins, the sins of our state, the sins of our country, the sins of previous generations, just to free so that God's word and his work would be unhindered. So how can we best, as I consider the prayer networks already functioning around the world, and our domain or our area of territory God has given us is within One Mission Society. And there are so many organizations who are faithful to the Lord, your own included. So as we are responsible for the territory God has given us, how can we best set up a prayer network reaching and liaising with these countries and regions around the world, already functioning prayer networks of national believers? How can you see that we can do that best as a mission?
I would recommend a couple of things to do. I think one of the biggest things that can further the reach of prayer and encourage the body of Christ is to make sure that whoever are your prayer leaders at the national level, at the regional level, that they are staying connected with some of the key networks around the world, right. Both that they are sharing what they are trying to raise up prayer for, they're sharing the stories of what's happening with these other networkers, and they're also sharing with your people, with your missionaries, with your national leaders, and they're sharing some of the things that are happening, because that's a great encouragement. I think we used to be in this ministry mode of we're each doing our own thing, and God bless them, but I'm right here and this is my responsibility. And I think that God's tearing down those walls a little bit more, especially in the area of prayer, because you tap into intercessors, and some intercessor that maybe has in their heart to be praying for Tanzania or something like that, they're going to be happy to pray for One Mission Society workers there. They're going to be happy to pray for Southern Baptist workers there. As they hear the news of what's going on, their calling is to pray for this. And so I think that's one of the biggest things that you can do. Perhaps one of the other things is to look for ways given with the technologies to easily set up places where news of stuff can go back and forth to intercessors, to whether that's you set up some kind of an email listing to intercessors, or because I think you're doing so many things that intercessors in nations around the world, not just the U.S. but other nations, need to tap into, and I think that's a valuable thing to be doing. But it's really the breaking down. I think the breaking down of the walls of this is just us is a key factor in seeing a network grow and thrive.